I hope you all recovered from yesterday's absolutely crazy sprint race, because it's time to go again, this time for the feature race here at round 5 of this truly enthralling Formula 2 season here in 2022 on the eve of the biggest race of the season, the Monaco Grand Prix. 20 of the young drivers are about to go at it again. We've got some crazy stipulations even before we start this race. We'll go through those in a second. Well, yesterday's sprint race threw up one of the most crazy results of all time when Callie Mayer somehow, someway, threaded her way through the field on the way to a point. Now, the championship could really have a shake-up, with Liam Lawson going for his his second feature race win in a row, of course, as he starts from pole position once again. Let's hope his car holds up this time. Let's take over the grid, and we'll go for the back. Renzo Fittipaldi and Ralph Boschung bring up the back row of the grid in yesterday's, or the day before's, group qualifying session. And here we go with Callie Mayer from 20th again. Where will she finish this time? She's behind Tatiana Cordova. It's Jake Hughes and Maura Cordial in 18th, 17th. Logan Sargent goes from 16th alongside Jack Dewitt. It's Cullen Novalak in 13th alongside Frederick Vesti, hoping to get a better start than he did in the sprint race. Dennis Hagler just outside the top 10. Into the top 10 we go with Ollie Caldwell, the sprint race winner, alongside Marcus Armstrong. Reno starts 8th alongside the very impressive Amuyu Iwasa so far this weekend. The Tridents are back on form with Verschoor and Callum Williams 6th and 5th. J.R. Derulo goes from 4th ahead of behind Felipe Dragovic. It's the 3 championship big hits, Dragovic, Pourchaire and Liam Lawson, that bring up the rest of the grid. Now that crazy stipulation that I mentioned at the beginning of the race is a aforementioned and yet to be patched and never will be patched bug with F1 23. It was an unforeseen bug that no one took any notice of apart from me, because I was probably the only one witnessing this season. And it is a bug with the tyre strategy. Apparently there has always been a set of tyres that the game doesn't code to use. So due to that, these drivers are going to be starting on the same set of tyres they finished the sprint race with. Now, I'm not sure why that happens. It's an aforementioned bug that has never been addressed because no one really watches or plays F2 this season. So I'm the only one that's going to be witnessing it. And, it's going to really throw up some race results of the unknown nature now, because technically, at the beginning of this race on lap 1, the graph shows that everyone will be pitting, pretty much everyone, bar Liam Lawson, I might add, will be pitting on lap 1. Because Liam Lawson only completed 1 lap of the sprint race, that now means that Liam Lawson actually has the freshest set of super soft tyres for this race. Yes, it's confusing. Yes, it is how it is. We're just going to have to deal with it. Blame EA and Codemasters. But anyway, to the race today then. And Callie Mayer has to do it all over again. She finished 8th in the sprint race yesterday. She's got to do it all over again, once again. And we know she can do it, so who knows where she'll finish this race with the added element of pit stops and the aforementioned tyre bug, which is really going to shake things up. As we said, everyone can be pitting at the end of the first or second lap, because this bug has never been addressed in over a year of the game being up. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to our notes in here, and Callie Mayer still leads the Drivers' Championship by 25 points, despite losing a few points on Richard Verschoor in the sprint race, because he was the only one of the championship contenders, or then 2 were the only ones of the championship contenders to actually score points. And as we said, 3 of the championship hitters in Liam Lawson, Teo Pourchaire and Felipe Dragovic starting in the top 3. Surely anything can happen here. I think what we can be almost sure of is that Callie Mayer is not going to be messing around. She's obviously out of position in 20th, but what really is out of position when you start 20th and finish 8th in yesterday's race? Let's find out what happens today. For the feature race here at the Monaco Grand Prix weekend, 5 red lights. It is lights out, and away we go for this today's feature race. And Liam Lawson has got away particularly well. Has Felipe Dragovic got alongside Pourchaire? No. Does Pourchaire try to go around the outside of Sanderbond? And there's a whole jostle in the midfield. It looks like Callie Mayer moved up some places again. Side by side, going through up the hill into the Master section, and Liam Lawson holds out. And where is Callie Mayer, you ask? Callie Mayer is 12th. She made more places than at the start of the sprint race. She's actually made 2 more and is up to 12th already. Oh my goodness, no such effects on her tyres at the start of this race. Down the inside of Ollie Caldwell, who she never even saw in the sprint race. Today she's going to see him, and unfortunately she's going to lose out to those headboard. Oh, she's going to come around the outside as much as she did on Dragovic in the sprint race. It's exactly the same move, and Callie is already, get this, P11. She is one position off a point already. We've not even got to the second sector of this first lap. This woman is sensational at race starts, that is for definite sure. 9 places, and in total she has made a grand total of let me check my notes here. I would say about 14th in the sprint race, 11th now, that's plus 3, so that's about my maths is terrible. That is about 11 places in 2 starts, I believe that is. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section. But at the end of lap 1, it's Callie Mayer's show yet again. She is P11. Liam Lawson leads this race by an astonishing, check this, 3 to 5 seconds already. And here's the replay of the start from Callie Mayer. And oh my word, she threaded needle. She threaded needle at the start. She was in the middle and then tapered to the left like she did in the sprint race. She lost control of her car momentarily. She was sliding before entering Sandoval. How did she not crash into anyone there? I do not know, but this is Callie Mayer. I think that probably answers in itself. What a start. That was a more difficult start than the one in the sprint race, because in this race, she threaded the needle. In the sprint race, she went to the left immediately. This time, she went from the middle to the left and passed Ollie Caldwell around at Mirabeau as well. No contact there. Callie Mayer certainly has great spatial awareness, you've got to say. Avoiding crashes and actually avoiding contact with other cars, although she did get quite as close to Ollie Caldwell there, but I think that will be relatively harmless. It was the same move she did on Felipe Dragovic in the sprint race. And here's the start from Teo Porcher then, and this was actually the other flashpoint of the start. It was Teo Porcher and Liam Lawson going side by side through Sandoval on the opening lap, and they went side by side all the way up the hill to the Massenet corner, I believe it is. Liam Lawson just having enough speed to get ahead. And of course, Liam Lawson is on much better tyres than those that are starting this race because of the tyre bug. And I think we're going to be getting pit stops on this lap because most of the drivers are running old tyres. Liam Lawson only ran 2 laps in the sprint race, and look at that gap. 8 seconds clear of everybody at the end of the first lap. Barring mechanical issues, I would say Liam Lawson's on to win this race. How is Callie Mayer doing? She's still 11th, but losing touch to Yuri Vips ahead. DRS enabled, and here we go. Here him to start the pit stops then. Felipe Dragovic will be in first. I think he was followed by one of the Trident cars, I believe. And I think that's Richard for sure. Who else is coming in? I think Mayer is in. There is one of the Red Bull cars. I'm assuming it's one of the Premers. Because they're at the end of the pit lane. I don't think Downs would pit both cars on the same lap. That would be pretty problematic. I think Callie Mayer actually went on. She did. She's still on the soft tyres. So it's Iwasa that came in for Downs first. And, well, what a absolute... Oh, man, that tyre bug is one of the most annoying things in this game because it's never been addressed because of the low player count of this side of the game. But in any case, Liam Lawson, 8 seconds clear, out in front, and he could probably lap people by the end of this race. He's got such a distinct advantage, having run only 2 laps in the sprint race. A disaster. We'd have to let Liam Lawson at this point. Let's hope not. It'll put him right back in the championship picture, but not too much if Callie Mayer has a say in the matter. She's already P7 and in the points, but bearing in mind she has to stop. And what this also means for the race is that it'll be a 2-stop race because the ultra soft tyres that everyone is fitting in this early stage of the race will not make it to the end. Now, we mentioned the ultra soft tyres I think back in Spain, and we mentioned that Aiden Jackson was not a big fan of the ultra soft tyres back in 2020. Callie Mayer had that same kind of viewpoint in the practice session earlier in the weekend. So now she's running the tyres she absolutely doesn't like, and it'll be interesting to see how she does from here. Well, there they go. The only kind of weekend, I believe, I think, apart from Abu Dhabi, where we'll be seeing the ultra soft tyres in this sport. It is no longer a part of Formula 1. We have a much more simple to understand system, thankfully. And here they come out of the pits. Callie May is going to end up in about 13th, back behind Caldwell. That's going to be unfortunate. So now it really is about the driver until the second round of stops. And I believe, seeing as this is lap 4, I don't think these stops will even count. And which is probably why they're probably going to stop again. So either for the ultra soft tyres running out, or the fact that the stops don't start till after lap 4. So everyone might have to stop again anyway. Liam Lawson has literally shaved about 20 to 30 seconds off his race time by not pitting. He's a minute clear, I think that is, of Felipe Dragovic. Oh, man. I wish this bug had been fixed, but them's the brakes. But it does give Liam Lawson a very healthy lead to play with for the rest of this race. He could literally just cruise to the end now. I think his decision to stay as they are, for sure, is actually scoring points. Both are ahead of Callie Mayer, who's the championship leader, because Callie, unfortunately, has fallen a few positions below where I thought she would be. But we know it. She can take almost anyone. She can overtake almost anyone at the circuit at any time. So I don't think it's going to be too long before she gets back in a points playing position, hopefully. Well, Callie needed some good results after qualifying 20th and having all the championship contenders ahead of her. So one of them did in Richard for sure. The other one dropped out in Liam Lawson. Although Liam Lawson isn't technically in the title fight yet, there's still a very long way to go. And a very long way to go in this race. But Liam Lawson also leads by a minute ahead of pretty much anyone else. To be fair. Well, here is Richard for sure, the main championship challenger, who's 25 points behind Callie in the standings. And Callie is already trying to make her first move of the day on Ollie Caldwell. Well, not her first move of the day. It'll be her second on Ollie Caldwell in this race, because she passed Ollie Caldwell earlier. And as we said, a much better weekend for Trident so far. Williams is P4. We've got Lawson for Dragovic and Porsche. So even with all the stops, it doesn't really seem to have shook at the field too much. The only real loser, unfortunately, is Callie Mayer down there in 13th place. And on the tyres, she really doesn't have a great feel for this year. Fortunately for her, she doesn't really have to run these tyres for much more of the season, I believe. I do believe the next race we'll run these tyres is in Abu Dhabi. And is she going to go for a Charles Leclerc over to Raskas? No. She looked very close to Caldwell there. I thought she was going to go for it. But the answer is no. But she might have a chance to pass Ollie Caldwell into turn 1 because he has no DRS. Down the inside goes Callie Mayer into P12. And that was inevitable. That was taking candy from a baby for Callie Mayer. DRS. And no DRS for Ollie Caldwell. And now Callie has a 1.5 second gap to close to Yuri Vips. And as we know from the sprint race, she'll probably do that rather easily, you would think. Because everyone seems to be struggling at getting out of corners in this section, apart from Callie Mayer. Although her spinning herself, you wouldn't notice, and that's really because she's pushing so hard. But, wow, look at that. This is a gap unheard of. Actually, I think the gap has now gone down to 29 seconds. So I don't think it was 50 seconds. I think it was 30 that Liam Lawson was leading by. He's going to have to pit again, but he's already got almost a race or a pit stop lead over Felipe Dragovic. Although if he doesn't spin soon, he might start to lose it because Dragovic is actually closing in a little bit. Well, Liam Lawson wasn't really in a position to score any points in the sprint race anyway, so his retirement wouldn't have hurt him too much. It wouldn't have mattered too much if he'd finished the race, is what I meant to say, because Callie would have passed him for P11, because she was behind him at the time, and she got a visor full of smoke, as did Clement Novolov for that blown engine. And, I think Callie has 1.3 behind Vips. If she keeps on at this pace, she might actually get back in the DRS range of Yuri Vips, but then there's only one zone, mind you. And that's just the way Callie is driving. Look at that. She gained about 4 tenths in that corner. And now she's right on the back of him. Look how hard she's pushing. And she doesn't seem to be as much offended by the dirty air of these cars, as she proved in Monaco. Actually, she wasn't really mainly behind cars for too long, but there's always been this discussion of whether Callie just takes it easy in the sprint races and then uses the feature races to score points. And that would be a valid comment, but in yesterday, that certainly wasn't the case, because she was P20 and she scored a point. And now she's going to start passing some cars some more today. And already passed Ollie Caldwell for P12. There's a lot more time for Callie to get in the points, and she's only 2 places off some points positions, because in the feature race, of course, the points go down to 10th place. And Callie Mayer is going to go down the inside of Raskowski. Yuri Vips is going to take it, very much like Charles Leclerc. Down the inside, Callie Mayer is she is literally unstoppable at this very moment. You will not keep Callie Mayer behind for very long. Not in these conditions. Well, for someone who didn't like the ultra soft tyres, she'll surely enjoy that move. Well, this is literally out of the Charles Leclerc playbook, as Callie Mayer continues to demonstrate her passing prowess. She's very much like a brother, isn't she? We said that a lot yesterday. Look at that. Round the inside, no damage. I don't think even Yuri Vips knew she was coming, quite frankly. So, how these people and Callie are avoiding collisions, how we are seeing no collisions in this race, is beyond me, because Callie Mayer is just catching everyone else out with moves that you wouldn't expect, and yet she's making them stick. As Liam Lawson, I think, is beginning to struggle on those tyres. He's now lost another 2 seconds to Felipe Dragovic in the last 2 laps, so I don't think we're going to be too far from Liam Lawson's pit stop. But I think he's got such a sizable lead, it's probably not going to matter anyway. We'll have to see. If Dragovic can get within 25 seconds of Lawson in the next couple of laps, we might have a battle for the lead here. Well, it might be an aforementioned bug that has never been patched in this part of the game, but it's certainly going to throw up an interesting race. And, well, we could have an interesting battle for the lead going on. Dragovic is now buoyed time to 27 seconds as Callie Mayer goes down the inside. Dennis Hauger and Mirabeau, a carbon copy of yesterday. Maybe the same result as Callie Mayer passes Dennis Hauger at Mirabeau once again, and now is in the points. Well, with Lawson winning and Verschoor in 5th, it's absolutely crucial that Callie gets as many points as possible, and she's even remembered all her passing prowess from the sprint race. Dennis Hauger didn't really remember much at all, and is much more spacious than her move in the sprint race. Dennis Hauger was almost up against the wall when Callie passed him last time, because she had locked up on her right front tyre. That time there was a lot of space, and now she's going down the inside of Amuyu Iwasa. Now, what a dam's going to do here? I wouldn't be surprised if they are going to be on the radio saying, get out of the way, because Callie is much faster than you, which she has been for the most part this year, but I don't think Callie needs it. And she's already right up on Amuyu Iwasa and a Mirabeau. Iwasa doesn't make it easy, so Callie now has to go around the outside. Challenge accepted by Callie Mayer from her teammate. And now we're going to go side by side. There's no hairpin. Callie locks up. There is still no collision or damage on these cars. Callie Mayer, how is she getting the car slowed down? Round the outside of Iwasa on the reverse of the Dragovic move. And she's done it on the other side and passes her teammate. That is a statement of intent on your own teammate. Well, Iwasa didn't make it easy for her, but she doesn't need a second invitation. This is Callie Mayer after all. And, well, just look at this. Iwasa does not make it easy. He knows what's coming, but Callie does a switch back to the right and just stays there. And really, she is going to stay there. You need to do that against Callie Mayer, because if you move, she's going to be there. She's not going to move or back out of it. She locked up at the low hairpin. How did she get the car slowed down is beyond me on these tyres. They are very grippy. But, and once again, Callie Mayer makes everyone back away from their TV sets in absolute awe of her absolute awesomeness in passing other drivers. Now we're going to see it from Iwasa's point of view. Did not make it easy. He was actually getting out of shape once again. He hit the wall. He hit the wall on the right. I won't be surprised if he has damage and has to come into the pits, but I think it might be relatively harmless. It is struggling with that car, and Callie is just giving him no quarter at all. And that is a bold statement of authority in this damn team. Callie Mayer is now 9th. And she thoroughly deserves it. Oh, and there's a spin. Callum Williams is spotting in the final corner. Now, what's going to happen here? He's going to have to wait for everyone to go by. I wouldn't be surprised if we had the safety car come out because Williams is going to have to wait. We had this in 2020 with Callum Ilott in Spa, if you remember. Jackson was right behind him. Ilott spun the car. Had to wait for everyone to pass him before the safety car had come out. Callum Williams is now reversed, although he's not moving now. And there's going to be loads of cars. And oh my goodness, Callum didn't move. He didn't move and he's caused a traffic jam. And what's the view going to be here? Are we going to have a red flag? Oh, and Callum Williams calamity. Red flag. Red flag. The session has been stopped. That wipes out Liam Lawson's advantage. Callum Williams, what was he thinking? He just didn't go forward. Well, he loses it in the final corner, hits the wall. I think he might be out of the race, although he kept the engine running. So, did he have a puncture? I don't think so, because he reversed. This is bizarre. And I think Callum, that's bad for Trident, because they were having a very good weekend up to that point. Everyone passes Callum Williams up to, is it Jake Hughes? It's a more cordial, he just doesn't move. And then cordial just slams into him. Somehow he avoids massive damage. And Callum Williams is out of his race. Which is probably deserved for his, well, let's put it nicely as possible, stupidity by not moving forward. That gives Liam Lawson now a free pit stop, essentially. Because you can now change your tyres in the red flag. And they form back on the grid now. Liam Lawson gets a free stop for tyres. Everyone else, I don't know if they've got any super softs left to put on. They probably have. But Liam Lawson, once again, the big benefactor of it all, because he'll get a free pit stop and a free change of tyres, essentially, as you have to run both dry tyres in a dry race. But will Lawson have to stop? Would be the interesting question now. So here we are for the restart. Liam Lawson from the front. Can Callie Mayer make any more positions off the start? Lights out, and away we go for a second time here in this Monaco feature race. The question is, will Liam Lawson have to still go and make a stop, or can he finish the race? Callie Mayer's already made her way up to 6th. It's rather predictable at this point. There's no need to get excited. Already up to... Where is Mayer now? She's 5th, actually. So Callie Mayer's been the big benefactor at the start. Now, how many of these drivers are still running the ultra soft tyre to the end of this race now? Because obviously we've had 2 laps chalked off thanks to the red flag. Callum Williams is out of this race, by the way, and pretty much deserved for his rather tactic of just not moving for some reason. Liam Lawson's already grown to a 2-second lead over Felipe Dragovic, which is absolutely insane. So Lawson definitely has the fresher tyres once again. He's had the luck of the fresh tyres in this race. But how many are still running their the tyres they put on at the first start? I think everybody might be, actually. We might be still seeing another stop from everybody. Liam Lawson hasn't stopped at all. I'm not even sure if that's allowed. And he's run both types of tyres, but I'm sure there's a mandatory stop in Formula 2. Callie Mayer is already struggling. So if Callie is falling behind Porsche, that means her tyres are running out of grip. And that's not going to help her. She's been really cooking through these tyres in both these races. She's P5. She's just behind for sure. She's not going to lose a lot to Lawson. And for sure in this race she can finish there. But the question is, will any of these drivers finish the race on these tyres if they haven't chosen to change their set? Liam Lawson's probably the only one who had a fresh set. Although they're fresh set of super softs. Although there is sets to be given back, of course, in Formula 2. You have sets to be given back as well. So maybe the return set is not allowed. It's a strange bug for this game. But anyway, Liam Lawson is just racing away because that's him today. 5 seconds already ahead of Felipe Dragovic. Verschoor has actually passed Porsche somewhere. So that's going to be crucial for Richard Verschoor, as he's the closest challenger to Callie Mayer in the standings for the moment. We've got Mayer in 5th, Armstrong 6th. It was a 7th as Dams continue to put points on the board. Jayon Deruvale is 8th. Dennis Hauger is not scoring at the moment. He's 11th. Between him is Marino Zato and Yuri Vips. Prema are going to lose a lot of ground in the constructors' standings, or the team standings, 2 dams at the moment, because they've got two double point finishes in this race so far. Callie still needs to make it to the end of the race, mind you. Although she's starting to fall back from Théo Pourchaire, so I wonder if her tyres are starting to struggle, which means we might see her in the pits for another set of ultra soft tyres, which is strange. I thought they would have, actually everyone would have put a new set of super softs on. Maybe they don't have the right another set to put on, which would be strange. I still think Liam Lawson has to pit, mind you. I'm going to be really confused. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, does Lawson's tyre change count as a pit stop, or does Liam have to pit again? Or pit, because he hasn't so far in this race? Well, we'll find out later. Right now, we've got a bit of a Mayer train forming from 5th down, because Callie, I believe, is starting to struggle on her tyres. So what we need to, that's a spinning car, that's Yuri Vips is a spin, and we've got another one spinning, and we've got a traffic jam in the tunnel, very much reminiscent of my younger days playing F195 with a traffic jam in the tunnel. Safety car deployed. This time it's not a red flag, this time it's actually a safety car deployed. And did anyone else suffer in that crash? We don't really know what happened. I think Liam Lawson, or Yuri Vips rather, he did spin, but what else happened? Well, we're about to find out in this replay. So, very much like Callan Williams, Vips just loses the back end, doesn't comply with it, breaks his front wing. Hauger does hit him, but I don't know. I think Hauger might have been pitting for damage while everyone else really was able to go past. It was pretty much like playing F195 back in the day and causing a traffic jam in the tunnel, which meant the likes of Simtek win a Grand Prix on that game in my younger days way back when. It was a pretty cool flashback to witness there. Not for Dennis Hauger, mind you, because he's going to be pitting for a new front wing, and that's him definitely out of the points now. So, we are now behind Bert Mylander in the safety car. We're on lap 15 of 21 in this sprint race. We have 7 laps left. We have Liam Lawson leading. He can't make a pit stop now. Well, he could. Does it even count at the safety? Is Liam Lawson gonna win this race, or is he gonna be DQ'd for not making a pit stop? Like I said, does it actually count if Liam doesn't pit at any point in this race? Because he's run both types of tyres, so that rule is cancelled out, because he switched to the ultra softs, because he started on the super softs that were relatively much less worn than everyone else's, because of the tyre bug in this game. Well, 10-second lead is going to be wiped out for Liam Lawson. I think he had up to about 15 before the safety car came out. Well, he's not pitting on this lap, so maybe Liam Lawson doesn't have to actually stop at all in this race. So, barring that, then Liam Lawson is free to win this race, because his tyres will still be less worn than Dragovic's and Virtual's behind him. We have no idea if they'll have to pit again. But, yeah, it is rather strange flicking through the notes for the rulebook here. I'm trying to figure out. I'm not actually sure. I think it might even count as a stop, so maybe Liam Lawson will not have to stop officially in this race. Well, if you're wondering what the big gap is behind Théo Pourchaire, it's Callie Mayer, who's literally been nursing her tyres for the last few laps, because her tyres are pretty much off the cliff at this point, I would have thought, because a lot of drivers probably didn't change their tyres in the red flag. So that's why Callie Mayer is literally nursing her tyres to the end here. Is she even going to catch the safety car? We cannot restart this race until everyone has filtered up behind the safety car now, with the rule adjustment to the safety car, at the beginning of the season, after the 2021 controversial finale in Formula 1 in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Callie Mayer is not, you're not allowed to hold people up and force them not getting behind the safety car, but Callie isn't doing that. She's literally having to nurse her tyres because they're off the cliff. Callie Mayer is not going to make it to the end of this race, I don't think, and I don't think many others are either. We should form up in a lap or two. I think it's probably going to be about lap 19 or 20 that we get this race back under green flag. I think there was Callie Mayer, so I think they are catching them. Callie's just been very slow to do it. And of course, Callie Mayer can't be going any faster because she has to adhere to a delta time under the safety car. So with that and Callie's tyres, it's taking her a lot longer to form up behind Pourchaire and others than these guys, these leaders under the safety car here. There's Callie now, so we're probably going to be restarting, if not this lap, definitely the next one, because Callie has just formed up. There's no unlapping needing to be done, so that procedure is now not going to be tested, because Dennis Hauger made a pit stop under the safety car, but he will catch back up. Callie is still struggling to get onto the end of Pourchaire here. I wonder if Callie's tyres are pretty much finished, because she's really struggling to even catch up with those ahead of her right now. And we thought they may be approaching the end of the cliff earlier, but I think they probably definitely have now. And the safety car's coming in, we're told. Safety car in this lap from Team Radio from Callie Mayer. Tyres are finished, so what does Callie do now? Because if she pits, she's going to lose all these positions. But if she doesn't pit, her tyres are not going to make it to the end of the race on that statement. So here we are then, green flag racing, and Liam Lawson has already checked out. 1 second lead at the end of the first corner. So I think the majority of drivers are actually running old tyres and not changing them from the red flag, because they're already falling behind Lawson. So Lawson has had tyres for him for days so far. And the big question now is, how far will Callie Mayer go? She's going to have to. She's done the attacking all weekend long. Now she's going to have to start defending from those behind her. But her tyres are finished. She's literally having to nurse it, and it's not because she was pushing in the early stages of this race. That is not to blame for this. Callie Mayer had to attack. She's done the right thing, but her tyres are dried enough. So she can't drive unnecessarily slowly and hold people up. Although you are allowed to defend your position. So Callie essentially is not doing anything wrong here. It looks worse than it is, but because Monaco is notorious for its lack of overtaking opportunities, although that Callie Mayer has made her own this weekend, I don't know if she's going to make it. She's driving really tentatively. This is the slowest we've even seen Callie Mayer drive this season, and Marcus Armstrong has had enough. And some damage to someone, as I think they hit Callie and they're entering the pits, and Callie is going on. So Callie is making a monumental decision here. We've got some cars in the pits. So Liam Lawson is free to win, because I don't know if he'll be pitting at all, which I'm not sure if he's allowed to do. But and look at that, Dennis Hauger has gone on as well. So Dennis Hauger, who was the championship contender to Callie Mayer, the closest one aside from Richard Bashaw, Liam Lawson's thrown himself right into the ring with this win today. And that's Jake Hughes changing his tyres. I wonder if Jake Hughes has more damage. He's had damage all weekend long, poor guy. Although he didn't pit in the sprint race when he suffered that damage trying to pass Liam Lawson, who was stranded with his broken engine. Callie Mayer has got a little over 3 miles to go until she ends this race, and if she goes any slower, she's going to stop, because she is nursing those tyres I don't know if Callie May is going to make it, but she's going to try, and all credit to her for doing that. She hit the wall, I think. Well, tyres were finished at the end of the safety car period. We've had 4 laps almost since, and look at that. Dennis Hauger's already caught up to her. Callie is not going to finish this race with the points because she's going so slowly. Like we said, if she goes any slower, she's going to stop. And, well, Callie Mayo's got... Oh, no! I think Callie was on her side. Puncture on the left, front left. Callie Mayo's gone. She doesn't pit. She's going to try and do a Charles Leclerc and finish the race literally on 3 wheels. She's going to do a Lewis Hamilton as well. Puncture, team radio for Callie Mayo, and an Anglo-Saxon term to go with it. But I don't know if she's going to make it. The tyre shredded completely off. Much as her aggressiveness to try and get to the end, she's not going to make it, guys. Callie Mayer is going to try and get to the end, but she's struggling ever so much at the moment. She's got, I think the rear tyre's gone as well. Double puncture for Callie Mayer. One of the rear tyres has gone now. She's out. Callie Mayer's out, and she's holding up everybody. She's not intending to, but she's out of this race. She can barely get up to speed, and Callie Mayer's humongous effort is going to go unrewarded. She very sensibly gets out of the way. She's out of this race. Liam Lawson has won it by an absolute postcode without even having to pit. I'm assuming his tyre change actually counts as a pit stop, which I'm not really sure if that's even allowed, but that's the race result then. Liam Lawson wins. Callie Mayer scores no points. Richard Pashaw's on the podium, and that blows the championship wide open then. Because Richard Pashaw's gets 15 points, Dennis Hauger gets 18 points, and they were Callie's closest contenders. So now the championship's blown wide open. Logan Sargent gets 2 points for himself. Ralph Boschong has got a point from 21st on the grid. Where on earth did that come from? And what a race! A red flag, a safety car. Callie Mayer doing more outstanding passing moves, but has ultimately gotten unrewarded because of 2 tyre punctures, which ended her race on the final lap. Liam Lawson took the fastest lap on lap 14. That ends Callie's run of fastest laps, sadly. Whoa, get your breath back, folks. That was wild. What a wild weekend of Formula 2 here at Monaco. Very Monaco-esque. You never know what's going to happen in Monaco. We witnessed a crazy weekend. Callie Mayer scores 0, and now 10 points. That's 10 points, isn't it? Between her and Verschoor then. Dennis Hauger just 12. Now Liam Lawson is 26 points behind. And if he continues on the form he's going, he'll be right back in the fight. This weekend has blown the championships wide open now. Iwasa is 10th, so he gets vital points for dams with Callie Mayer failing to score. I think with Boschong's point, does that mean everyone has scored now? We'll see in a second. So Sargent had already scored. I think he scored before because he got 12. No, we still need points for Frederick Vesti, Tantana Calderon and Jake Hughes. The last 3 to score. And if we have more races like we did this weekend, I think they might just get them. Team standings, Dams now lead by only 1 point ahead of Prema. Trident have a better weekend, but have lost some ground due to last one. And, well, catch your breath, read your notes, and we'll have to find out if Liam Lawson's wins legit. The game's as it is. But what a weekend. What a weekend. And it just so happens to be ultimately sad that Callie's valiant effort has gone unrewarded, but she's put F2 and maybe even F1 on notice. The weekend of Callie Mayer doesn't end in points here today, but for Liam Lawson, it's joy. He's right back in this championship fight. What a race, what a weekend. We'll see you again when Formula 2 returns.